Good evening, namaskar, adab. Warm welcome to another special edition of Viewpoint. The Prime Minister was just addressing workers, the people who have been his supporters, his voters from the city of Kashi, and the Prime Minister once again making it very, very clear, please, for heaven's sake, for God's sake, don't underestimate the challenge that we are all confronted with. Don't think that this is a virus which will not come to you just because you're a healthy person, just because you go to a gym. The Prime Minister making it absolutely clear that if you are in this country, irrespective of whether you're a rich person, irrespective of whether you're a poor person, you are an individual who is as exposed to the probability of being hit by this virus as anyone else. So please stay at home, and that's the only way that you can stay safe. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to look specifically at one key area behind this entire stay home, stay safe campaign. If you have to be home, well, somebody's got to do the shopping for you. If you have to be home, somebody has to get you your bread, somebody has to get you your milk, your eggs, your vegetables, and what else have you. There is an entire ecosystem in our country which consists of the topmost firms which have converted home delivery into some kind of a specialized activity. Is it time for us to seriously look at this community as the community which will ultimately help us in this hour of extreme crisis? You only have to look at what's happening in Bhilwara in Rajasthan, for instance, where just because the entry of one person, one COVID-19 positive person, he ends up going to a hospital. And just look at what happens. From doctors to nurses to people, and it's suddenly looking as if it's Bhilwara in Rajasthan, which may well end up becoming the hotspot of all coronavirus activities. And why would that be? That would be because people, perhaps would not be aware of the fact that just how grave the situation is. They would obviously not know who has tested positive, who has not. And because they would have all exposed themselves to open areas, maybe they would not have had access to home delivery mechanisms. That is why Bhilwara suddenly has become what it has become. A full panel is joining us tonight. Let's raise a big blunt question and welcome all our big guests today. Is it possible? Is it really possible for a home delivery mechanism in India? Online companies. Should online companies be roped in to maintain supplies? Should the government be seriously engaging with all companies which are involved in online supply of basic material? UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath says that he's got 10,000 vehicles ready. And those 10,000 vehicles will ensure that you can get anything and everything that you want right at your doorstep. But how is it going to happen? Let's welcome all our big guests today. Vivek Sundar is the Chief Executive Officer of Swiggy. He's live with us. Dipanshu Manchanda is the founder of Zappfresh. We got Vishal Jindal, who's the founder of Biryani by Kilo. Anand Goyal will be with us as well, and Kabir Biswas will be live with us as well. Warm welcome to all of you. Vivek, let me just first begin with you. As a COO of Swiggy, and one of the biggest platforms which is involved in online delivery, home delivery mechanism of food and other articles, please tell me just how difficult are you finding the scenario right now to cater to your clients?
Good evening, Bhupendra. I hope I'm audible. Thank you for having me on the program. These are difficult times.
Yes,
These are difficult times which I think all of us have to kind of... It's also very volatile times. I mean, the Prime Minister has given an address. We are clear on what the overall objectives are. And as it so happens, this is a very heavy logistical job. We have to go out there and deliver stuff. So there are teething challenges. I would not deny that there are teething challenges. But I have to say that in 24 hours, the teething challenges are starting to reduce. They're not over yet, but they're starting to reduce. State after state after state is stepping up to the challenge, working with us to make sure that one by one all the teething issues goes away. I don't want to say that it's all over, but I do think that in the next couple of days we should be ramped up to convert ourselves into not just a delivery of restaurants, because there are lots of restaurants who are not open. So the teething troubles are actually with restaurants. They're with our delivery fleet. They're also with the cloud kitchens and the restaurant staff. So there's a whole bunch of them. But one by one, all these problems are slowly going away. Some in some states faster than another. And we are confident that through the program and through the kind of outreach you're doing, very soon people will understand what it takes to cope with this serious challenge, perhaps the biggest challenge India has faced in a while, over the next 21 days.
That's my point. Vivek, none of us, and I've been speaking all through this week, I've been speaking to the biggest voices. We've spoken to Anil Agarwal, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, and everyone has basically said that we don't know just how grave this situation is, just how bad this situation is. Therefore, how do you work out a response? If you don't know, because this is an unprecedented scenario. Dipanshu Manchanda is the founder of Zappfresh. Dipanshu, you're also engaged in home delivery of a whole lot of, all kinds of articles. Tell me, in this kind of a lockdown, what is the kind of support you think you require from the government? This stay home, stay safe campaign, according to me, should really be founded on the kind of activities, the kind of support that online companies like yours, home delivery based companies like yours can provide. What's the kind of support you're looking for from the government right now?
So I think the safe campaign is definitely something what country, completely on with that, with the governments and central ones and the state ones. But I think a little more preparedness, a little more, readiness would have helped, contain the situation we are in today. So I'm going to give you some basic, examples of if we are talking about deliveries, okay, that we want to do the home deliveries. Have we thought about the food processing industry, the wages, the laborers, the cleaning staff, the packaging staff? So we are a complete, full stack meat delivery company. So we are working directly with the farmers also. So the kind of exposure we have is a full stack exposure. And in that full stack exposure, delivery is just one part of it, okay? And what we have seen is that, our, laborers, who are trying to come to the factories to package the product, make the final product for the delivery boys to pick. If that is affected, which is today, and, they get beaten up on the road, with, even if we have curfew passes, I want to, very, clearly tell here is that even after availing all the passes, the people are really suffering to get where they want to go. So I think the disruption is definitely very, very grave than what it looks today, and it's going to definitely take minimum 3 to 4 days, as we understand, and a state and private partnership is the only thing which can solve it, and we are the companies who are willing to work with the government.
But how? That's what I want to know. But Dipanshu, that's what I want to know. Yeah, Dipanshu, that is what I want to know, and and all the points that you're making, Dipanshu, I'm completely with you. I can imagine if the support base, if the staff members who are supposed to be well performing for you, and if they are the ones who are supposed to be putting this whole thing together, if they don't find their way to your office and to your setup, then how are you going to take care of your clients? Therefore, I ask you, curfew passes, everybody cannot get hold of it, maybe it's a problem. Is it time for us to think of maybe some kind of a collective that if you are involved with home delivery, you become a part of a collective, and those members who are a part of that collective are given some kind of an identity card. It allows you to move freely. Do you think that that's something which could work?
Absolutely. But that identity card has to be recognized by state government. If I'm operating in three different states, one state is closed, another state is open. Now, that's also a challenging situation for the business. Now, we can still work in a particular state in a limited manner, which is fine. But eventually, to be able to, go through this process, we'll have to have that, one recognized body. It could be a Ministry of Food Processing, or it could be e-commerce. It could be whatever, government, whichever is applicable, needs to really, look at one single window for everybody, like vendors, partners, whoever are associated in the industry with the e-commerce company should be able to, to be able to work. I'm going to again give you an example that how deep this is. Packaging, for example. Now, packaging is a very small thing. Nobody will think about packaging. How are we going to get packaging from, because, all the printers are shut.
Right.
Now, they're not in food processing. They're not essential. What are we going to do about that? So, given the
Dipanshu,
scenario...
Thanks very much, Dipanshu, for joining us. Yeah, I get the point. I get the point that it requires a larger state, center, public, private participation kind of a scenario. And that's why I'm saying that when you are in this